Okay, here we have a mess. This is another Zenith. You can see this looks like a 9S262, but it has a bigger cutout. That's because it is a different model. This is a 9S365 from 1939, and what they did was they used the leftover cabinets and chassis to build a new model. Just here, they just kind of threw this like that for now, full of dust and dirt. But you can see here it has the push button assembly at the top. So the idea was they wanted all their models to have push buttons for 1939. And they had leftover parts, so they kind of threw this together. And it's kind of, I don't know. This one's, oh, that's good. This one's definitely seen better days. Seen some water or something at some point. I did a lot of cleaning already. It was really disgusting when I first got it. I don't know. I don't know what this is gonna end up like. I think my goal is to just make it look okay. So, kind of glue everything back together. You know, you won't see it too much because it's on the side. The biggest thing is I can't do it while it's humid, and right now it's incredibly humid. I feel like I'm underwater. So this is going to go in the garage. I put the chassis and everything in there, and this will be a project for later. So this is the underside of the Zenith 9S365. Checked the power transformer, which measures relatively what I would expect, so I think it's okay. I also checked the can dome, which has obviously been, added on to here. So that needs to be repaired. It looks like we had some mice in here at some point. The capacitor there has some chew marks on it. There's a few that have been replaced, but in general, not too bad. There's these two electrolytics, which is not unexpected for something that is 90 years old. I think there was another one somewhere. Yeah, down here, someone's stuck in a capacitor there. But really, two electrolytics and a paper cap and a couple resistors is not bad for a 90-year-old radio. The biggest annoyance with this is the can dome that has to be, replaced. You can't just tack them in like they did. It's not really safe because if one of those sections should short to ground, it could take out the power transformer. There's the old dried up dial belt, probably the original. This coil, that is an RF choke, it is open. I'm going to see if I can repair it. I might be able to. I've had luck in the past, but it doesn't always work, so we'll try it. So I got a little carried away here. I changed all the capacitors except for one electrolytic, and then I just went ahead and I said, I'm just going to do the can dome because I hate doing these things. So, it's not great. I used what I had. If I had the right values exactly, I would have done that, but I don't. That capacitor down there needs to be changed, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll reroute, some of the wiring to where it's supposed to go. And from there, we're basically, at that point, we'll put a new cord on it and see what happens. Hopefully it'll work. So I'm not really sure how this is working, but I was able to attach this wire to the stub of what was left over in this coil, which you can just about see right there. And the wax is melted over it to keep it in place, thank goodness. I'm going to stick this through the hole here. It's supposed to go here. Stick it through the hole, and then we'll solder on the other side, and hopefully it will retain continuity. I absolutely can't believe I fixed this coil, but I think I did. So we're going to check the continuity between here and here and here and here. So let's check. That looks about right. So let's check it over here. Yeah, so I think I fixed the coil. What else do we have to do? Well, I have to restuff this one capacitor up here. That shouldn't be so bad. And put a new power cord on it. Now, I checked the speaker. The field coil seems okay, but the audio transformer is open. So I've got to figure that out. Okay, I went ahead and I changed the defective output transformer. I just kind of mounted it here. It should stay okay. I put the secondary and the primary together, and then I measured it. The speaker made a little clicking noise like it's supposed to, and we have a working speaker now. So where does that leave us? Well, I'm going to just double check the work I did on this chassis over here, and I think there's one more capacitor I can probably change out, and then we'll bring it up on the Variac and see what happens. Should work, hopefully. Okay, we've got this turned on. I have the power turned off. I have the speaker plugged in, antennas connected because I'm being optimistic. We've got the selector on the manual side. Don't know what band. Well, I guess I'm on AM, so that's the, yeah, okay, that was kind of stupid. Tuning is not working yet because I don't have the belts. I can get those once I hear this play. I should be able to reach in over here on the side and just do some kind of adjustments on tuning. I just want to hear a station, so let's go ahead and turn it on. We'll give it 15 volts, 20 volts. Still have one old capacitor on the top there. I just, in order to get to it, I have to pull that, whatever that thing is, the preset thing. So, 25 volts, 30 volts. It'd be nice to have some a knob to turn though. There we go. 40 volts, 50 volts. The dial light is on. 55 volts. See the audio tube's lighting up. We're at 60. Should be seeing 65. Oh, I hear something.
Medical school. We're listening to the radio, and she turns to me and she says to me, "Oh, there's bombs." She goes, "Rockets." She goes, "Oh, the rockets. They're going to take care of the rockets. They'll last a few days." And then something caught her attention on the radio, and she turns to me 2 seconds later and she says, "We're at war."
Dr. Richter says he admires the bravery of the Israeli people.
2 days after the attack, I got a fundraiser note to rebuild
These
the
Zeniths
to rebuild that
don't die.
kibbutz. 2 days after they burned the whole thing down. There's nothing left. 2 days later,
the iTube
there's
is
a
dead.
fundraiser
Give
to
it
go
that.
back and to rebuild it. And that's the determination of the Jewish people.
Dr. Richter says he had no choice but to leave his family in Israel to get back to his patients in Queens. He says it was the hardest thing he ever had to do. Many New Yorkers attended a vigil at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine today, praying for the
Sounded
victims
good.
of the fighting in the Middle East. WCBS.
Well, I'm happy. It's playing. So, cabinet I cleaned up a little bit. It's not great, but it's not bad. And, I think we can put it back together once I get that capacitor changed. I'm probably going to throw a fuse in there. And if I have one, a dropping resistor just to kind of lighten the load on the, on that transformer. I could put the tuning belt kit in it. That's no problem. I'll order that. Our next step here is to put the dial belts on. And that's pretty good. I might put a little more oil in that, but that looks decent, so that's not bad. This one, obviously the small belt and then the big one, so I'll do that now. I got these dial belts here. This company, Quality Radio Belts, excellent. I've tried lots of things in the past. I've tried different types of O-rings and different types of rubber I can cut, to size that never works. And the problem with the O-rings is they dry out after 10 years or so, and they just disintegrate. These belts are the best. I mean, they don't fall apart. They last for years. They really do stay, and they're not very expensive. The gentleman that does this, he does a great job. He's wonderful collector also. So anyway, I always buy these for these Zeniths, and never had an issue. So definitely recommend that. I'm going to go ahead and put these on. So how do you put these belts on? Well, this shaft needs to come out. Now, what's in the shaft here? There is if we can zoom in or out, there's a C-clip right here. That C-clip needs to come out. Usually I can do it with between some needle nose pliers like this and a small screwdriver. It usually will come out. Then this shaft just slides right out. I will have to loosen these as well, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so we've got the belt on. I have my outer belt here and the inner one here. Something's squeaking, so I'm going to have to put a little oil on something, but I put oil in here, the shaft in there. I'm going to get that, I got to get that C-clip back in, so let's do that. Okay, I went ahead, put in a fuse, is a 1.5 amp. It's probably a little more than I need, but that's okay. So 1.5 amp. Now I fused the radio. As you can see, I have the primary, you have the power transformer. So the primary itself is actually connected to this resistor. Now this resistor is here to drop the voltage. These transformers do not like having a lot of voltage on them. And when this radio was made, the typical line voltage was about 110 to 115. Now it's about 115 to 120. In some places it's 121 or 122. So it is what it is. Anyway, I've added the fuse. I've added the resistor to drop the voltage. Now you can see I still have the motor connected to the power coming in, and that will provide the motor the full voltage, because this will blow the fuse if I try to do the motor. And I also don't want the motor to have the resistor. I don't need it dropped. I mean, the motor doesn't care, so that's fine. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll power it up again, make sure it's still working. Okay, we've got some sound here. This is on the dim bulb, of course.
More delays up towards the 59th Street Bridge. Jackpocket, the #1 lottery app, lets you order official state lottery games on your phone. Use code radio for a free Mega Millions.
Tons of volume. So
New York 1877.
I'm pretty happy with how this is working. That's about how it should work. Okay, it's a mess over here, but anyway, we got that cap changed over here. I mean, it's sounding really good. So the next step that I have to do is an alignment, and it may not need much, but we'll touch it up. We'll touch up the IF. That'll be kind of hard to get to, I think. Yeah, of course, because they're buried under here. So I'm gonna have to take this. Whose idea was it to come up with this stupid contraption? I mean, this barely even. Well, I guess it does work. It's just. It doesn't work that well. Anyway, yeah, someone came up with this ridiculous thing. So I have the push buttons, replacement push buttons coming. My gloves are destroyed. I've been wearing these because, lead and all that good stuff is in here, and I'm thinking, I should probably do something about it. So I have the push button replacements coming. I have a missing knob. I have two knobs were missing, so I've got that. I've got the little station covers coming, and I have the grill cloth already, so I've got to put that in. That's going to be annoying because the grill cloth board is coming apart and that needs to be re-glued, so there's that. But the chassis, I mean, it's not the best shape. It's kind of rusty and everything, but I can paint the transformer. It won't look too bad. And I think once it's back together in the cabinet, it'll look acceptable. And like I said, this is a very collectible radio. It's, kind of an odd model with these push buttons on the top. And it really does, when you see it together, and I've seen pictures and everything, it looks really futuristic. I mean, in 1939, this must have been like, you know, you see it and it's like a, you know, something from the future, a robot, you know, really does look like that. So they certainly had their marketing down on this. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and do the IF alignment. I mean, really, they didn't provide any, well, I guess you can kind of get to it with a screwdriver. I mean, really? This is crazy. This one's no problem. That one, I don't know. I mean, this was obviously an afterthought. I mean, anyone that came up with this is flops around. What a stupid design. Anyway, it is what it is, but it's kind of cool. And I'll clean this up. I'll take that off and clean the dial, clean everything. It'll look great. It does squeak a little. So I'm thinking that maybe if I let the oil sit in there that I put in there for a day or two, it might free up, might sound better. I have to check the motor. I'm not going to do that on the dim bulb, obviously. I still have that going. So I'll wait for plugging it straight into the wall. And yeah, I mean, I think we're coming along. Oh, it's playing. Sounds good. Anyway, I'm going to get out of that, and I'm going to try to do an alignment here. I don't know how I'm going to get in here, but we'll do what we can. So I believe this is at, it should tell me somewhere. Yes, it does. 456. So we'll set our dial here to 456. Okay. We'll connect to this guy. Come on. Hopefully that'll stay. We'll adjust the volume. Don't want it too loud. Now, I'm going to go in here. Okay. That's pretty good. And then what a pain. Really? It's pretty good. How do you get something like this in here? Why is this fading out? Good enough.
Rifle that they just came out with, that's actually now my...
That Antonio Pierce brought up the Giants.
Well, there's some depth, there's other depth to this as well. So that happened.
This is working well.
Only meeting.
Nice set.
Players and coaches meeting. It was the same meeting. Where they ripped him. The same meeting where they
Tony,
ripped
yep.
Josh McDaniels. And then they had practice. And at that practice, Josh McDaniels was defeated.
So there should be plenty of sales, stockroom, and delivery help this year to help you.
This is Dead Handled by a motion picture tough guy actor. He was in the original Scarface. Each dawn I die, and they drive by night.
Why? Why would you pay 16%, 20% on a credit card when in maybe 2 weeks, Equity Now can close a debt consolidation mortgage for you and make all that crazy interest credit card debt go away? Term providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1979. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1979. 1979.
Set up and working.
What do you mean he's not coming in? This is our busiest time.
The mixologist at Claude's Bar is moving
Very
to Manhattan.
cool.
Already down 2.
Each one unique, each one full of dreams. They're our hope.
This is the robot dial.
Terms and conditions apply.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on
Sounds pretty good.
What if you
Has tone control here.
as a purchase in a pear tree?
Sure, but why would anyone want that? The song was very convincing. Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with
Kinda
the
cool.
Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your
Definitely looks like a
a
robot with the push buttons up on the top.
I'll
tell you that. Kind of cool.
Thanks, Michael. We'll start on Long Island in Suffolk.
You know, the cabinet's not perfect, but you know what? It saved from the dumpster and made it into a decent radio that if someone wants to, they can use. Can't really complain.